Man, I never would have guessed that this year would bring us an animated adaptation of The Killing Joke and an animated 60s style Adam West Batman movie. And the Adam West one would be the better of the two. Hey guys, this is Justin at The Swab Review. Today we're talking about the new DC animated movie, Batman, Return of the Caped Crusaders, starring Adam West, Burt Ward, and Julie Newmar. I've been really looking forward to this movie because I am a huge fan of the 60s Batman show. It's one of my favorite TV shows and I just enjoy it so much that when I heard they were going to do an animated movie with Adam West, Burt Ward, and Julie Newmar all returning, I just couldn't wait. And then when I heard they were doing screenings of it in theaters, I'm like, yep, I'm going to be there. And I went and I saw it and wow, I just enjoyed the hell out of this movie. This movie is a ton of fun. If you're a fan of the 60s Batman show, you will love this. If you hate the 60s Batman show, think it's cheesy and stupid, you will not like this movie. But if you're a fan of the show, you'll just have a blast, because this is a great throwback to the original show and a great love letter to that TV show. It perfectly captures the style and tone of the 60s show, and it's just a blast. I had a smile on my face during this whole thing. It is so much fun. The plot of the movie, I'm just going to give a very brief synopsis, I'm not going to actually delve into it, but the plot of the movie basically has Riddler, Joker, Penguin, and Catwoman, all the core Batman villains, working together to get this ray gun that will duplicate anything from this scientist. And Batman and Robin are on the case to stop him. And that's just a very basic gist of the plot. Actually, a lot happens in this movie, story-wise, surprisingly, but I'm not going to delve into it all just because I went into this movie not knowing what was going to happen at all, and I think that works, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to spoil anything story-wise, though there are a few points that I wish I could talk about that'd be really fun, because there's a lot of funny story beats in this movie, but I'm not really going to talk about them. What's great about this movie is that it has the original cast back, Adam West, Burt Ward, Julie Newmar, and they all do their jobs very well. Adam West gets a lot to do in this, especially where the plot goes later on in the last half of the movie. He goes down a path that I wasn't expecting his character to in this movie. That is great. You get to see him explore and do more with the Batman character that he doesn't normally do. And it's just, Adam West is so much fun. Burt Ward sounds exactly the same, so it's really weird. He sounds exactly the way he did in the show. It's crazy. And then Julie Newmar is a lot of fun. I like how they beefed up her character because they have Julie Newmar. So Catwoman is a much bigger role in the movie than the actual other villains. And I really like that. I like giving her more to do, especially because she's great as the part. She's a ton of fun. So I love that. The voice actors they got to play the rest of the cast, I'll do a good job of doing imitations of the original cast members. The actor who plays Riddler does a perfect Frank Gorshin laugh, and that's amazing. I like that. All the voice acting was good. I enjoyed all that stuff. And then you get to the writing of this movie. The writing captures that feel of the TV show where it is super cheesy, but it never gets pushed too far. It never goes to the level of Season 3 when Batman and Joker are surfing and stuff like that. It doesn't go that far into ridiculousness where it's just stupid, but it plays off like the earlier seasons of the show where it pushes the boundaries and definitely goes farther than what the show could do because you can do whatever you want in animation, especially during a bit in the middle half of the movie where it totally goes beyond the stuff of the show, but it never goes like way too far to where it just becomes dumb and eye-rolling. All the jokes are really funny. There's a lot of good jokes in this movie. There's actually a lot of callbacks to other iterations of Batman. There's actually a really cool Michael Keaton Batman callback that, like, it's a line that I never thought I'd hear Adam West say, but he says it, and it was awesome. I like that. There's even a nod, actually more of a jab, at the ending of Dark Knight Rises, which I thought was really funny. And I like that. So there's a lot of good callbacks to the other iterations of Batman, not just the 60s TV show. So I do have some minor flaws with the movie. I have some flaws with the structure of the film, because the movie does kind of play with some red herrings, where it's like, you know, people get captured, and then all of a sudden, no, this was really their plan all along near the end. And I get what they were going for story-wise, but a lot of times the movie feels like it's like coming to an end. And then, oh, something else happens, and then that comes to an end. Like, the structure of the movie felt kind of off and almost episodic. It felt like it might have been better if it was actually, like, episodes. So that structure kind of felt off to me at times. There are times where I'm like, this feels like the climax. And then kind of another, like, subplot gets introduced. I'm like, okay, I guess. But this seems like a totally different story. And, oh, it ties back. Okay, I get you. Now, this is the climax. Oh, no, there's a little bit more. okay. So that structure wasn't perfect. Also, story-wise, there's something that happens early on in the movie that I don't want to spoil it, but all I'll say is it's very out there. That's all I'll say. And it's just really zany and crazy and totally goes beyond the TV show. And I wish that would have been the climax of the movie. Because I felt like the rest of the movie never reached the heights of zaniness that that earlier bit did. So I just thought that was very unsatisfying to have that so early on in the movie. That should have been the big epic climax to the film. And, you know, other little minor flaws is that the animation, the character likenesses are really good for Batman, Robin, and Catwoman. And then for the villains, they try to get as close to the actors as they could. Not perfect, but they do a close enough job to where, like, you can tell that that's the Frank Gorshin Riddler or the Cesar Romero Joker, except for Penguin. For some reason, like, they didn't try to kind of capture the Burgess Meredith look. He has that kind of chubby face, like the classic comic book Penguin, and so that was really weird. Whenever they cut like a close up of him, I'm like, that doesn't feel like it's supposed to be Burgess Meredith. So I felt like that could have been fixed. And little things, I do kind of wish it did fit a little more in line with the show. I wish it had a narration by a narrator. That would have been fun. Or even the transitions, you know, the classic Batman transition. That's not actually in this movie. Their transition is just the bat emblem kind of moving across the screen. And, you know, that's just a little nitpicky fan in me just going like, I wish it was a little bit closer. But that aside, just a little minor issues, nothing too big. I really like how the first maybe like half hour or so of this movie plays off just like an episode of the TV show. Like, it literally just opens, you get introduced to the villains, then Batman and Robin are on the case, they end up confronting the villains, get into a fist fight, the villains get away, then they go on, then they try to solve the case even more, find the villains, fight again, get into a death trap. So that literally just feels just like an episode of the TV show, because it's exactly the structure of the TV show. And I thought that was really cool. So up until they get into that first death trap, where they're on the giant TV dinner, it feels just like an episode of the show. And after that, the movie kind of goes into its own storyline and branches off into its own plot line, which is really a lot of fun. I had a blast with this movie. From the opening credits, which is awesome, it's a recreation of Batman comic book covers. So whenever you see like Adam West Batman, it's a recreation of the first appearance of Batman. Then you see the title for Burt Ward, it's showing the first appearance of Robin. And instead of just kind of jumping around, almost in the style of the opening credits of the TV show, similar to that, except more, of course, animation, and combining that with comic book covers. So from the opening credits, I was sold and I was in. I just had a ton of fun with this movie. It's crazy that this is technically the best Batman movie that came out this year. Actually, I would never have expected that, but it is. Yeah, it has its flaws. The movie does kind of go on for a little too long, and again, the plot structure is not perfect. But aside from that, it's a fun throwback. This movie recreates everything from the show perfectly. From the sets, from inside Wayne Manor to the Batcave looking exactly like it did in the show, to everything being labeled in the Batcave, to even the scenes of Batman and Robin climbing the walls, which they do that one time, just a classic them climbing up the side of the building, and then they do it again, but a different play on it that is very unique and really funny and just really smart. It even expands upon some stuff. It has the scenes of them sliding down the bat pole. You see that expanded more. You see the costumes actually go on them. And then when they drive out of the Batcave, you actually see like the little corridor they drive through to get out, just kind of expanding on the show a bit, and I thought that was really neat. And since this year marks the 50th anniversary of the original TV show, this is a great 50th anniversary tribute to the show that just celebrates it in all its glory, and I'm really glad they made this movie. Especially this year, just a perfect thing, and I can't wait to see more of these 60s Batman adventures, since they've already announced a sequel that's going to star William Shatner as Two-Face. That's amazing. I cannot wait for that. I hope they do more of these movies. I hope they just do as many as they can. Because if they just keep this writing style and this tone and just keep it right, then they can just make a ton of these movies. It'll just be a great return to the 60s show. So, out of 10, I'm going to give the movie an 8 out of 10. A pleasant surprise, just a ton of fun from start to finish. Again, if you like the 60s Batman show, check this out. You will like this. It's a continuation, basically, of that show. It's a blast. It's a ton of fun, smartly written, witty, funny, unique. You have Adam West and Burt Ward and Julie Newmar playing their iconic characters again. And you have a lot more for Adam West to do, especially with the last half. And just him just chewing the scenery and just having a blast with it. It's just so much fun. A lot of great death traps, a lot of silly Batman gadgets from the show. Even a new Bat vehicle, kind of like, you know, they have the Bat boat, the Batcopter. They have a new Bat vehicle that I don't want to spoil, but it's really funny and just really cool. Either way, that's Batman Return of the Caped Crusaders, and that's about it for now. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.